All right. We'll do the countdown again.
Okay.
One, two, three, four.
Hello and welcome to Men Behind the Curtain, the podcast about everything and nothing all at once. I am Pitt.
I'm Eli. How's it going, y'all? Let me give a disclaimer up front. If my signal is coming off a little fucky, it's because my good laptop took a shit, and I'm using my old laptop at the moment for like the next 3-ish weeks.
Yeah.
If y'all want to help me, I have a Cash App. So
Gonna start a GoFundMe.
I would, but I'm pretty sure nobody's going to donate to that.
Yeah, I wouldn't, but that's besides the point. I thought it was my concussion at first, and was like, "Whoa, everything's moving in slow motion. It's like tripping on Robitussin."
No, it's just shitty on my end. That's all.
Hey, so I have to ask you, since we've
Yeah.
gone through the I think the premiere episode, WWE on Netflix. And I only bring it up because I see the championship belt in the back, and you being a huge WWE fan, and I haven't watched in probably 2 decades. What was it like?
So first of all, the Tyson Paul fight had me really worried because the live servers were absolute fucking garbage. So as far as the actual stream goes, it was good, crystal clear, great. I was a little surprised that they were still doing some of their advertisements, but whatever. I'm used to it. There was a little bit of language, but apparently Netflix edited it out post stream to stay up with their family friendly product, which that irritated me a little bit because I thought part of the idea here was that it was going to be more uncensored and more quote unquote raw and unfiltered.
Yeah.
But I do feel like they definitely did step up their game for it a little bit. It was a better show than what they normally put on. So I'm hoping that it'll be a good indicator. My only concern, and I've gone back and forth with a couple people about this, Vince McMahon, as horrible a human being as he was, and I finished the doc, and honestly, the doc didn't tell me anything I didn't already know. But he was a good promoter. He was good at juggling multiple storylines and everything and telling a lot of stories at once. Triple H, I think he's doing a good job. I think that he's putting a bigger emphasis on the in-ring performance rather than just the promos. He's not scripting the promos as heavily, if at all. Well, I'm sure there's some, but not like he was. But almost every fucking storyline, he is using slow burn, which is great sometimes, but Jesus, not every time. So that's my biggest criticism about him as a promoter and as a booker. I think he's better. I think he's more in tune with fans, which was really McMahon's downfall. McMahon forgot that he could not manipulate the audience anymore. He couldn't tell people who to cheer and who to boo anymore, and he really was not accepting that. That's why his product started to tank.
Okay. No, because I've seen a couple interviews with Paul Levesque, also known as Triple H, and they were talking about the fact that they're just coming out and saying heel and face and stuff like that, since it's something that's well known within the wrestling community and by the fans. So, and he's like, there's no point hiding it when you just address it. He's like, let's be honest.
I was impressed about that. And yeah, he straight up said, this is entertainment. Everybody's in on it now. So let's just call it what it is. And I kind of respect that. Disney doesn't tell us that a dude actually fucking turned green and gigantic. Like everybody knows what's up with every other form of entertainment. So I'm kind of okay with them finally getting on the ball with that.
Yeah, well, there's gonna be no more arguments about whether wrestling is fake or real. I mean, the shots that they take, the falls that they take. I mean, there is definitely realism and safety concerns
I
there.
don't know. Yeah, well, I don't know if I told you this or not, but what was funny as hell to me was when I was a kid and I still thought that it was real, I was always really confused. You hate this dude so much, but you're going to wait till next week to fight him. Like, you're in his face right now.
Yeah,
I always thought that was a weird, that was always kind of weird to me.
it's real, and they're using, kendo sticks and
So,
chairs and sledgehammers and stuff like that. And it's like, if I were to go out and do that in the real world, I'd be arrested.
yeah. And I actually do kind of appreciate when they had those storylines where they go to this dude's house and beat his ass and then the cops show up. Those make for really entertaining segments. I would like if they would go back to doing that kind of stuff.
Didn't they do one like they went to Randy Orton's house or something like that to have him arrested? Like, God, this is probably like about 15 years ago.
Yeah, Triple H went to Randy Orton's house, broke through his front door, and threw him out the front window. Now, I don't know if this was actually Orton's house. It was a nice house, but I wouldn't be okay with them fucking up my house. Airbnb wasn't a thing back then, so I don't know. That's what I would do today. I don't know if that's what they did back then.
Well, maybe Orton was going to do some home improvements and was going to put in a bay window and need that window taken out anyway. So
that's entirely possible. And I know that they've done that sometimes when they do like their quote unquote hair versus hair matches. Kurt Angle was already balding, so you might as well make a storyline of it. So they do that sometimes.
Yeah. All right. Catastrophe. I've been told we've got several new ones. Stuck on the prostate. All right. Our very first catastrophe is upside down. If you could ask your pet or pets one question and they could answer, what would you ask?
Normally when they're staring at me, I would like, what the fuck do you want? You have food, you have water, you're not walking up to me for pets. What the fuck do you want?
God, I don't know. I've got 2 dogs, 7 cats, and a snake. So if I can ask one of them, I'd probably ask them all the same question except for the snake. How do you get your leg up and back that high, and that far?
One thing I would probably ask the snake. I used to have a bearded dragon. He actually died like right before we went on vacation.
I'm sorry.
Where do you... I was kind of sad about it. My son didn't want to get a new one. I don't know. I still want to. I like the idea because it was a different kind of pet. But I would ask the snake, or I would have asked my bearded dragon, where do you shit from? Because I don't see a discernible hole.
Well, on the snake, I actually do. It's towards the very tip of the tail, probably about like 1.5 to 2 inches up. You can see like a double. It's almost like a double scale, like it kind of hooks like that. So that's actually their anus underneath those scales and stuff like that. Honestly,
makes sense.
It's the questions that I'm not worried about. It's like I would love to sleep 18 hours a day. I mean, the cats do it, the dogs do it. I mean, 18 hours of sleep I'm all for that. Where do I sign up?
I came to the decision a long time ago that if I could die and come back as a house pet to a good family, mind you, honestly, that's the fucking life. Like,
Yeah.
I
As long
don't
as it's
need
a good house.
Yeah. Like when you're a house pet, you don't need cable, you don't need the most comfortable furniture, the most expensive. No, you need food, water, pets. That's all you need.
Yeah. Honestly, I think actually now that I think about it, if I did ask a question, I'd probably ask my German Shepherd because he's apparently either that or the Labradane because the yellow lab. But it's like, what do I smell like? Because or I would ask the cats because apparently humans have like rings or stripes. I'd ask them, it's like, what do I look like? What kind of stripes do I have, or what do I smell like? Because I mean, every time I come home from the cigar lounge, from working and stuff like that, or just having a cigar, the dogs are like just over there sniffing me, and it's not like they're like going like, "Oh, what's that smell?" It's like they're like, "Oh, what's that smell?" So that would be my question. To the cats, what do I look like? What are my stripes like? And to the dogs, what do I smell like? So yeah. Or what's it like to see all in blue?
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
So I don't know.
Well, they did make a song about that back in '99. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like Eiffel 65 or some shit. But
yeah. Didn't somebody just did a remake of it recently?
Ew. No, ew.
Yeah. All right.
Oh,
moving on.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's gonna have the best fucking night of my life. Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, all right. What is the most useless talent you possess?
I don't know. Probably the fact that I can like pop my thumb in and out of place at will. But actually, I think I've done a detriment to myself by doing this because my thumb fucking hurts nowadays. Like I've been doing this literally my entire life. For those of you on YouTube, you can see me doing this. If you're listening on Spotify, Spreaker, or whatever, you'll just have to take my word for it. But yeah, I can like pop my thumb in and out at will. But I think I've fucked up my cartilage over the years doing that.
Depending on the day, my wife would probably say breathing, but I don't know. I think, and I'm going to try to do this without throwing up on camera because I can. All right, here, we'll just do it.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so that's the most useless talent I have, which probably
I can
pisses
hear
my
her
wife.
back there.
Yeah, well, she can't burp. She can't. She's got some kind of condition where she can't burp. She went and had botulism put into her, also known as Botox, to help with the burp, and it was actually working for several weeks, and then it stopped. So she's like hasn't burped since she was like 8 years old until that procedure, and hasn't burped since for like the last 2 months. So me just being able to burp on command.
I never knew that was a thing.
Yeah, I can't remember what it's called, but she looked it up and everything's like, I have this. Went to her doctor. It's like, hey, I have this. Can you make this referral? And then she went to Chicago, had the procedure done, and came back and was able to burp for like a couple months. It's fucked up. But yes,
I've never heard of that being a thing before.
That is my most useless talent, is just being able to burp whenever I damn well please, in some of the most disgusting ways. Yeah. Last time I tried to do that. Yeah, last time I tried to do that, I almost like threw up all over the place, and we don't want that. Not unless I want to
recommend
get,
it.
not unless I want to get out of work. It's like I just threw up. I need to go home. All right. Who would play you in a movie about your life?
So it's funny because you will remember you knew me back when I used to shave my head. And
Yeah.
I thought back then when I shaved my head that I looked like the actor. I had to look the actor's name up. Noah Guglielmi. Now, those of y'all who don't know that name, which most people don't, he's the fucking stereotypical actor who plays Hector in everything. He was in fucking Too Fast, Too Furious. He was the guy who almost drowned Ethan Hawke in Training Day. He was the dude who Jim Carrey made a monkey come out of his ass on Bruce Almighty. That's Noah Guglielmi. So back when I used to shave my head, and back then I didn't grow a full beard. I purposely just grew my mustache and just here on my chin. I didn't connect it. Look dead fucking on like the guy. Even though I'm not Mexican.
Especially when you're wearing the white tank top with the chest tattoo coming out of it.
That did not help my argument at all.
No. Well, I'm not trying to help your argument. I'm trying to help people get a visual of this. I don't know. It would have to be if it's gonna be a movie about my life, I'd have to look at different times in my life, like who would play young me, who would play the middle-aged me, and who would play the elderly me. And I already got the last two figured out. The elderly me would be played by J.K. Simmons, just because of the beard, the bald head, and I used to have arms like that and I haven't worked out in like a year and a half with the shoulder issues. And I think right now I would probably have to have Jack Black play me. But when we come to a younger version of me, and we're talking, preteen. I mean, we can talk about somebody in my 20s, and that just had to be Zac Efron because I was damn sexy. But if we go a younger version of me, I don't know of a child actor, maybe the kid who played young Sheldon when he was, around that like 10, 11 years old. Because I had like a horrible haircut like that. My mom would cut it, and she would cut it like Beatles fucking style.
Oh no.
Yeah.
No.
Absolutely.
What the hell?
You're back with us.
Okay. I don't know what the hell happened right there.
It was just a lot of slow-mo
what was I about to say? No,
visualization of no.
No. So if Jack Black plays a version of you, they have to do the fucking karaoke night when we went out for your birthday. They have to do that one.
Well, I mean, it was a Tenacious D song anyway, so
exactly. And you know what? I would love to see Jack Black playing someone else singing his own song.
Jack Black, I issue a challenge. Like he's ever gonna fucking see this, but tag the fuck out of him after I get this uploaded and everything else. Tag the fuck out of Jack Black. Challenge, Jack Black. I need you to play me as you doing your song.
Oh, that would be fucking hilarious.
Tribute. All right, our last catastrophe. What song best describes your life? It's the blues song.
Oh, Jesus.
What does the fox say?
No, do you remember this is the first off the top of my head, but you know what? I'm going to roll with it. You remember Lit, my own worst enemy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go with that. Which, for those of you who don't remember this song, he says like one of the opening lines of the song. It seems to me, or fuck, what is it like? I am my own worst enemy, because every now and then I kick the living shit out of me. I'm like, yep, that's me.
It's like liar, liar.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I have several songs that can sum up. Like, there's a song by Imagine Dragons, the one, Whatever It Takes. It's kind of like, you know, when I was doing OCRs and working out and everything like that, Whatever It Takes was kind of like my anthem, you know, because, you know, where it's like, I love the adrenaline in my veins. There's a hell of a lot of songs that I identify with. One could really basically sum up my life. Let's see. Fuck, I really don't know. There's like so many. You know, I just don't have one off the top of my head that would really signify. It probably be a Weird Al song.
You know what? I'm not mad at that. But you know what?
It might be Lasagna or Fat or something. I don't fucking know.
You know what? I thought of a question earlier. I'll give you, and this is actually related to this. So we'll use this as a cop out. You brought up, like, you know, with WWE earlier. If you were a professional boxer, MMA, or wrestler, what would your walkout music be?
Oh, let's see. I have two actually. And one is a song by a band that nobody's ever really heard of or even heard the song. It would actually be New Horizon by Trip Hammer. A really great fucking song, really fucking slams. It's fucking fire. But one that people will know, and it just because it don't pay attention to what the actual lyrics mean or anything like that, but just because that song has those parts where it can go, it'd be Heirate Mich by Rammstein.
Okay. This actually came up. I was in the comments section on Jonathan's live stream about a month ago when Corey was up there. Okay. And I said my music would have been Linkin Park, Burn It Down. Which, for anybody who doesn't know the song, or if you're like kind of not that big of a fan of Linkin Park, look that particular song up. That honestly, especially the chorus, would be fucking phenomenal to walk out to.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, I can just see the pyros going off now.
Exactly.
Now the question comes up: are you in a singlet, the Speedo, or you have trunks?
I honestly would probably be the most comfortable doing like the Kevin Nash and like 2010 Undertaker, where I'm wearing a singlet, but I'm also wearing pants over the bottom.
So kind of like the D'Lo Brown.
Well, D'Lo didn't have like he was always wearing a singlet.
Yeah, but he had those the pants on, then that flak jacket he wore down too.
I don't remember the pants. I just remember the singlet. I know
well,
for a long time he had the chest protector.
He may have taken them off to wrestle, but now are you going to use the Undertaker snakeskin pants?
Oh God, no! Even he says that was a bad idea.
Yeah. If you had a chance, check out Mark Calloway on his own podcast. He's talking about his snakeskin pants, and he said he's talking about like the wardrobe woman backstage, and she's just like, "Are you sure? Are you sure?" So, yeah.
The cover story that he should have gone with, and honestly, I would have gone with. There was a fan rumor that The Godfather let him borrow a pair of pants. Now,
I just would have went with
for
that
the
too. Yeah.
I would have went with it because those of y'all who never watched it, the Godfather's character, he was a pimp. He literally had a fucking entourage came out. They were called the Hoe Train. They were the hoes. Like, so snakeskin pants for the Godfather would have been on brand. I would have just went with that excuse and I wouldn't tell nobody anything else.
Speaking of hoe trains, did you happen to see any of the footage of the Jimmy Carter funeral?
I saw one clip of the Pumpkin Spice Palpatine staring down Kamala like he wanted her to fucking get upset with him or something. It was really fucking weird.
Whoever came up with that seating arrangement, it's just a complete fucking moron. You put Trump next to Obama, next to Bush, next to, I can't remember who Bush was sitting to, and then the Clintons were on the other end. And it's like, he tried to put Hillary in jail, tried to have the one guy murdered, completely, belittled an entire, political royalty, the Bush family, claimed that one of the people was not an American. And we won't even go into this stuff he said about Kamala or anything like that. But it's like, seriously, you fucking put this fucking twat waffle, this stupid fucking cunt. Boom, we got it. Put that stupid fucking cunt right there for everybody to see with everybody else.
Yeah. Also, by the way, that lets us keep the counter at 0 because we just called Donnie a cunt.
I'm sure Raleigh's going to come up at some point.
I think the seating arrangement had to. I think the seating arrangement had something to do with the order of the administrations, which kind of makes sense. But the way that he just stared her down was so fucking childish and petty. And I'm like, dude, grow up, please. But the thing is, it was projection because we know had he lost, he would have given her a death stare. He would have fucking it would have been a death stare. I don't have a better way to put it. And he wanted her to feel that way, and she just didn't. Or at the very least, she carried herself with class. I'll say that much.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of class, you sent me something about some bonehead idiot the other day. Now slipping my mind. I can't recall. It's the very first thing.
Hang on, which one?
Not this section. Not about Star Trek: Strange New Worlds getting renewed for a 4th season, even though the 3rd season has not been released yet. We'll come into that, but the one before that. See if I can pull it up.
Okay.
It was, yes.
Okay, there we go.
Special Counsel Jack Smith resigns from DOJ.
This laptop is horrible. So normally I would go ahead and share my screen right now, but since this laptop is dog shit, we're just going to put up a screenshot of everything. Yeah, so Jack Smith is resigning. I'm sure most of y'all remember he was like the main federal prosecutor to pay less Putin over here. Honestly, if I'm Jack Smith, I'm probably leaving the country because he has made it. He was never shy about the fact that he's trying to run a revenge tour. And if he's running a revenge tour, Jack Smith is 100% on his shit list.
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah,
I would just get out of Dodge, and I'm sure that that's what he's doing. Or at the very least, he's trying to get out of the public eye and hoping that that's enough.
It would be interesting. The thing is, if he does decide to, up and go to another country, it's going to be interesting to see exactly which country he goes to.
if I was him, I would try my best to keep that under wraps. Although I don't know if he'll be afforded that kind of privacy.
Probably not. I mean, we can't go to Greenland because Greenland doesn't want him.
Oh Jesus, the whole thing with Greenland right now, like, and I know what it is because Greenland, I believe, is sitting on like a lot of oil reserves.
There's a lot of natural, necessities that come out of Greenland. Not just like oil reserves or things of that nature. We're talking like minerals and other things like that. That Greenland's like one of the largest producers for.
Yeah, and I know that Greenland, to my knowledge, is declining to harvest that stuff because they're more worried about climate change. Which, for shit, somebody at least somebody is. God damn.
Yeah.
I'm kind of getting to a point where I'm starting to feel like Interstellar. Interstellar's going to end up being a true fucking story at this point. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, well, I mean, you've got that. You've got the potential renaming of the Gulf of Mexico, and then the potential of Canada becoming the 51st state of the United States of America. You can't make this shit up, people. You can't. I mean, you can, but fuck.
Which, as far as I'm concerned, this is all proof positive that the man is off his fucking rocker. And I don't really think that was up for debate anyway, but like, he's losing it. He's clearly fucking losing it. And if he's not losing it, then this is all a huge fucking distraction, which that has me concerned.
Yeah. What's the distraction for? Yeah, no, I can agree with that. What is the distraction for? And is that the implementation of Project 2025?
I know personally, I am still kind of waiting and banking on, between his diet, age, and weight, that man has a fucking Widowmaker just chilling right here. And he's just waiting on his day. And I'm just over here like, any day now.
Yeah, but then we got Bowman coming in after him, so I don't think it's any better.
The potential saving grace with Bowman is his lack of balls, because I don't think he'll do anything without being told.
They're probably on his wife's mantle or left in a couch somewhere.
Yep, that's probably what it is. Right next to some pocket change.
Hey, Cherry,
but
your favorite person's back.
Meanwhile, the couch is like, oh God.
So you bring up Interstellar, which was space related. So let's go back to this Star Trek Strange New Worlds. Anson Mount, Rebecca Romijn, Ethan Peck, and not to name, and leaving out a lot of great actors and actresses. But yeah, renewed for a season 4 before season 3 even has its premiere.
Yeah, I didn't know the season 3 wasn't out yet. I need to watch it.
Yes, you do.
I'm really behind on certain shows. I literally just watched the first episode of The Penguin today. Which I wasn't impressed. But yeah, so all the Star Trek content that's on there, and we just got Paramount for free via Spectrum because we already have Showtime. So that means I can watch Picard. That means I can watch Strange New Worlds, Below Decks, Discovery,
Lower Decks,
all of that shit. Lower Deck. What did I say? Below Decks? Yeah. Lower Decks.
I think Below Decks is the adult video version of it.
Yeah, which honestly, I mean, if they have an actress that looks like Deanna Troy, I might check that out.
Yeah, I would have to say Marina Sirtis. Yeah, she made me feel funny. Like
Well,
as
Troy
as
or Seven.
Jerry Ryan. Oh, wait till you see Jerry Ryan in Picard if you finally watch it. Yeah,
I forgot she was in that.
You know, I mean, she's a beautiful woman to begin with, and I think with age, she has only gotten more attractive. And what was great is the fact that, yes, you know, back in the mid to late 90s on Voyager, you know, you're acting on a television show. And I think, you know, with everything she's done since then and up into Picard, I mean, holy shit, is her talent like through the fucking roof? Is like, why are people not knocking down doors, bringing her in for something? Because she has gotten 100 times better than she was on Voyager. And, you know, we're talking about shows like when she was on Shark and other things of that nature, but just the way she goes back and captures the essence and the emotions of Seven of Nine from a character that she left, you know, 20 years ago, and slightly new spin on it, but the approach that she takes to it, it's like, oh my God, this woman has so much friggin' talent. Why is she not an A-lister?
You know what I really, really would have liked to see continue? So this one guy, it was a director, Kevin Tancharoen, I believe. He made a video, and I'll put this in the description. He had a pitch to Warner Brothers some years back, Mortal Kombat Rebirth. Now, in this video, and it's like a 5-6 minute video, it's not very long, he's trying to put a realistic spin on a lot of the characters. For example, Baraka is a plastic surgeon who started experimenting on his patients and eventually put blades in his own arm. Now, what he did for the blades, they're telescopic. He pops it once and it pops out a little bit. He pops it again and the full blade comes out. It was kind of a cool concept. For Reptile, he said it was, and this is a real condition, was Harlequin ichthyosis, which the body essentially does not, it can't absorb water or something like that, and the skin starts looking scaly, like a reptile, and he's also a cannibal. But where Jerry Ryan comes in, so we have Michael J. White as Jax, which honestly is fucking awesome. And Jerry Ryan is Sonya Blade.
Oh,
she could have been really fucking good at that.
Yeah, no, she's just a phenomenal actress, beyond all belief. And you know, I really wish they would do, you know, a Star Trek Legacy show and have her continue on in that. It'd be great. From my understanding, is they've already shot down those rumors, but who knows? It's Paramount, so it could happen. But one of the reasons Strange New Worlds, I believe, has not been released or has premiered yet for season 3 is because of another one of my favorite actresses, Michelle Yeoh, and Section 31. So there's going to be an entire show focused on Section 31 that's going to follow Michelle Yeoh's character of Philippa Georgiou through that series. Or actually, I should say miniseries, because I think it's technically just like a movie, but I think it's in like several parts. So like might be like a 4-episode event or a 6-episode event. So back to the fucking seasons of less than 8 fucking episodes.
I think that that's okay when it's intended to be a mini series and you're telling a story that is too short for a show but too long for a movie. And now, if you're doing that and it's only 1 season, I can live with that. But when you have 4 seasons of like 6 fucking episodes,
No, I can live with that too, because I mean, we're not living in the days of North and South Book 1 and Book 2, where Patrick Swayze has got a horrible friggin' Southern accent. And
Well, anyway, sorry about that, y'all. Technical issues. You'll notice that my camera's a little bit different now because I switched over to my phone. The laptop died on me, but honestly, I think this is probably going to be better for me any fucking way. Moving on. We were talking about Jerry Ryan.
yes, and Jerry Ryan and Michelle Yeoh and all the great actresses who've ever graced the presence of the Star Trek universe.
Michelle Yeoh, that's what you were talking about a little bit ago. I know that she actually, not to go too far off topic, but one thing with Michelle Yeoh that I think doesn't get enough credit. Did you ever see the Witcher series she did?
Oh yes, the where it shows how Witchers were started. Yeah, it was great.
I don't understand why that show got so much hate. I thought it was fucking great, honestly. Maybe a little abbreviated, but I thought it was fucking great.
No, I absolutely loved it, and it was. I think, and probably where the hate came from is you have the diehard fans that's like, no, that's not how it goes, and it's like, you know what? And I'm not hating on people, but you've got to learn to separate the source material from the viewing material, and whatnot. It's like like the same thing with with the Harry Potter series from that cunt of J.K. Rowling. There was they had certain liberties. Some things don't translate from written pages to big screen. And the same thing can be said for video games. Translate over, and you're trying to tell a whole story overall. An arcing story. And some of the things you just need to abbreviate or you need to move around.
I will agree with that. I had to eat my words a little bit when the 2021 Mortal Kombat movie came out. Because I said this about the Marvel movies. They're the people that I would call a purist, and I say that word because I think it describes it without being insulting. But people wanted to see like a shot-for-shot remake of shit that happened in the comics, which is just simply not possible. When it came to the Civil War storyline, yeah, it was like 6 versus 6 because the comics had like fucking 40 on 40, and they don't have the budget for that shit. So yeah, it was an abbreviated version. Not all of it was bad. I will die on this hill. Movie Thanos had much better motivations than comic book Thanos, because comic book Thanos was just trying to get some ass.
Yeah, well, I mean that ass is from Aubrey Plaza, so I mean
that is better. I mean, when you put it that way, I it's hard to fault him.
Yeah. But no, I mean the thing is what the thing about comic book Thanos in comparison to movie Thanos is you can actually in some ways sympathize with movie Thanos before Endgame, because then Endgame he was just bent on getting his revenge for killing,
Yeah, but what I will say, Infinity War and Endgame, Thanos actually has some of the absolute best dialogue that like of any movie villain, and probably since like Agent Smith. Like Thanos had phenomenal dialogue. He really did.
Yeah. So I mean, credit to the writers there.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, we got way off topic. But yeah, Michelle Yeoh. I know that she's done a lot of things. She's a good actress. She's a very respected actress and everything. So I do want to go ahead and check that out. Like I said, I have Paramount, so I might as well. But I just have so many shows to catch up on. It's fucking ridiculous.
Well, you know where I stand on that. It's Star Trek, so you got to watch those first.
Well, again, I mean, like I said, I just started the Penguin today. I still want to watch season 2 of Arcane. I know Blood of Zeus just came out a few months ago. So there's a lot of shit that I want to catch up on. And
Have you seen Silo?
I haven't. Isn't that Apple Plus?
Yes.
So I might check that out because I know season 2 of Severance is coming. I really liked Severance. Have you seen that one?
I've seen the trailers. The wife has watched an episode. She said it was good, but she said it was also a little strange. So the way I look at it, as in like, yeah, I'm probably gonna watch minutes of it and be like, fuck this shit.
It is a little bit strange because there's one scene where, as a reward, they have a little 15-minute dance party. Which, first of all, 15 minutes, fuck you, you can keep it. But the ambiance and the flow of the scene was really fucking weird. It was supposed to be, so it's not like the writers did a bad job with that. But yeah, it was strange. It was very strange.
But I mean, I highly recommend Silo. It takes a couple episodes for it to get going because you got to build up the characters and the story and stuff like that. But holy fuck, Tim Robbins as a villain. Sorry, spoilers. Holy shit. I mean, Tim Robbins just fucking nails the part. And Rebecca Ferguson, who plays the lead, she's just great.
Tim Robbins, that's Andy Dufresne, right?
Andy Dufresne.
Yep, I thought so.
Either get busy living, get busy dying.
He kind of, not a villain, he was a foil in War of the Worlds, which...
yeah.
I mean, War of the Worlds, like, that's another one I wasn't crazy about, I think. Now, the problem with War of the Worlds is I think it was too realistic, because would aliens probably die of disease when they got here to Earth? Honestly, probably, but that doesn't make it entertaining.
True. I mean, I don't know. I'm still, like, when you mentioned War of the Worlds, I'm still trying to think of, like, the machines, and there was just a spewing out of all the blood. It's like, okay, then what happened to all the skin, the bones, and the organs and stuff like that? I mean, what were they exactly harvesting? I would have just liked a little bit more of, like, what's the motivation behind the aliens?
So, yeah, that is definitely one that I think they could have done a little bit better. Now, when the original story that came out, in like the fucking 40s, 50s, whatever it was, the writer might not have thought that deeply into it, and I understand that. The standards weren't what they were now. But when they made the movie, I feel like, once again, they just banked on the fact they had Tom Cruise, which...
And he runs a lot.
Family Guy had the best burn on him, though, because if you remember the cutaway gag, like, he's just, you can't catch me, gay thoughts, and then there's a thought bubble of him staring at himself, which is fucking cheesy.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I have people keep telling me they're gonna watch the Dune show, the prequels to the remakes.
That's another one. I still have not seen Dune Part 2, which Dune, the very first one, the new first one, because I know they made one back in like the 70s.
80s.
80s? Okay.
Yep.
So the one that they made a few years ago, the first part, honestly, I was really impressed with that because it is a slow buildup. But even with the slow buildup, it was still interesting. Normally, when you have a slow burn buildup the way that they did, you just kind of have to sit tight and wait for it to get good. Honestly, that was good the entire fucking time, even though it was a whole ass 3 hours.
I'll be honest, there were parts of it that when I was watching it that I was like, I wish this would just fucking hurry up. But then there got to be parts of it. It's like that just wasn't long enough. So it had me mixed on both sides. So,
what I was very not impressed, I was glad to see about Dune is, even though they have an all-star cast, of course, Zendaya, Timothée Chalamet, Stellan Skarsgård, Momoa, David Bautista. They don't rely on just the marquee names. It's still a good fucking story, no matter who you cast.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy when they do something like that, because me and you can go all day long naming movies that phenomenal cast, horrible fucking movie.
Well, our podcast is only an hour long, so we don't have that much time. So, but I mean, it was. I mean, it was great, and it was great to see a lot of these actors in, roles that were not like a normal role. It's like, everybody looks at Dave Bautista, and the first thing they think of is Drax.
Yep.
And yes, there were probably some similarities between his character in Dune and that of Drax the Destroyer. However, there was more of a seriousness behind the character that he portrayed in Dune.
I actually very much respect Dave Bautista's growth as an actor, and I think even though The Rock has by far been the most successful to transition from wrestling into acting, I think that Bautista, as an actor, skills-wise, has been the best at the transition. Because if you look, first of all, they completely revamped the character for Drax specifically around Bautista, and they were specifically catering to his lack of experience, which is why Drax is so wooden. But it works. It works really well. But then, as he does other movies, probably the quote-unquote culmination of him as an actor was Knock at the Cabin. He's really fucking good.
That was fucking phenomenal movie.
And his acting in it, which first of all, my wife recognized Rupert Grint before I did, and honestly, Rupert Grint looks like he has not slept since Harry Potter.
He may not have. I mean, who knows?
But Dave Bautista in Knock at the Cabin was fucking amazing. You would not have looked at him in the very first Guardians of the Galaxy movie and think that he could progress to this kind of role. He was fucking great. I loved it.
No, I agree with that.
And actually, wasn't that a Shyamalan movie?
I believe it was.
So
it was strange enough to be one.
Yeah. Because I know I was in a conversation with somebody about that before. Hell, maybe we talked about it last week. I don't know. But Shyamalan is at his very best with these low budget, kind of slow paced, borderline creepy movies. Of course, Sixth Sense, we can all agree, like, he peaked with Sixth Sense. Fortunately or unfortunately, because he's not met that bar since. I didn't really like Signs, but it was a successful movie. The Village, I thought The Visit was really good. On the flip side of that coin, After Earth, After Earth had a lot of premise, or it had a good premise to it, but he was not the right director to tell that story. He was fucking awful at that. I'm not blaming Will or Jaden Smith, even though they both could have done better.
I'll blame them.
I don't know whose decision it was that they dropped the accent halfway through the movie. That was fucking weird. But Shyamalan was just not the right guy to tell this story. And of course, Split. Split was amazing.
Split was twisted. It was
James McAvoy deserved awards for that movie that he did not. Unbreakable, I thought was pretty good, even though that flew a little bit below the radar. Glass could have been better. I wasn't impressed with that.
Well, all three of those movies are tied together anyway.
Yeah, and that's why I'm mentioning them all together like that. The thing with Glass, it was just very anticlimactic to me. But yeah, Knock at the Cabin. Honestly, this is one of Shyamalan's best return to form movies. This is probably maybe not as good as The Sixth Sense, but it's probably right below it.
Yeah, as far as cinematography, storyline, and the ability of the actors, yeah, I agree with that. I think honestly, why Sixth Sense probably, I think there was more money put behind it in the promotion of it, and you had star power like Bruce Willis behind it at that time. So
Well, one of my favorite things about The Sixth Sense is just the rewatch value of it because, and we talked about this back when me and you were on the podcast with Jonathan on, like, I think it was his very first episode on Facebook. But the thing about The Sixth Sense, there's so much rewatch value in it. There's so many things that once you know the ending, which we're now like, what, 20 years removed? Fuck it. Bruce Willis is dead. Spoiler. Uh, But when you know that and you rewatch it, you start to notice nobody ever interacts with him. He never physically touches anything. When he goes to that dinner with his wife, he doesn't move the chair. He just walks right up and sits down. Um, then Shyamalan in an interview was talking about how he uses red all throughout the movie to highlight certain emotional things. Bruce Willis only wears the clothes he wore the day he died. So whatever his wardrobe is in the opening scene of the movie, that's all he wears for the rest of the movie. There's so many good little things to catch on the rewatch, which I think is partly why The Sixth Sense has remained a good fucking movie.
yeah, no, and I can agree with that. All right, everybody. We thank you for joining us for Men Behind the Curtain, the podcast about everything and nothing all at once. We will see you again in 1 week.
All right, take care, y'all. As I said last week, may the best of you today is be the worst of your tomorrows.